Hello everybody, I'm Marjorie Butterworth. Welcome to 2 Minutes with Marjorie. Turns out 2 minutes in 2 minutes it was more like 7.5 minutes, so I might have to scrap that bit because it's important to do something and do it properly, isn't it? So why put ourselves under any time constraints when we're really just there to have a bit of fun together? So what we were doing last time is choosing our material for some cards. Now I just threw everything out the window. I just started again. I thought, this is a card for Dawn, right? You know, start with Dawn, and if you get lost, you know, come back to Dawn, right? That is the thing. This beautiful piece popped out, and I thought that is gorgeous, and Dawn would love that. So I thought I'll have that, and I thought, well, what colours are already in that material? Because this is another thing you can do. And to be quite honest, you know, it's a sort of green and whites. You know, they're very pale colours. So that's what I've got. The green and the whites that I can already see in this piece, and I think they'll go together lovely. So what we want to do is we want to cut them to size, okay? So I'm going to use size-wise for a card like this, okay? So I'm going to make this little piece in the middle. I'm going to cut that to 2 inches squared. And these strips, these logs as I call it, they're going to be 1 inch strips. And then, you know, by the time it's all sewn up, you'll lose a bit, but that'll be a really nice size to stick onto a greetings card. So we'll go with that. So I've got some fancy rulers because, you know, I treated myself. But let's get the camera into position so you can actually see what I'm doing. Right, bring that down a little bit here, that to there. Right, and I'll come down here as well. So I've got my crafts table all set up, okie dokie, and I've got my rotary cutter, but you know, you can use a pair of scissors as well if you mark it. And what I'm going to do is cut a little square out that's 2 inches by 2 inches. So let's do that now. This isn't the best ruler actually, but it's here. It is available. Right. Now, I'm not one for major precision. I don't mind it looking a little bit wonky, a little bit homemade. I know some people are. So I just sort of wanted to mention that up top. Okay. So the table's a bit on the wonk, but that's all right. We can live with that. Right. So that's my middle. That's going to be my centre piece. Right. So I'll put that to the side. Okay. And then I need my logs, right, for the log cabin. So I'm going to use green and I'm going to use white. I just think Dawn would like those colours together. You know, sometimes it's as simple as that, isn't it? So these are my logs. So I'm going to keep these in 1 inch strips. And I've got this cute little ruler. That's just 1 inch wide. So let's do that. Let's cut that down 1 inch. So we know we've got plenty of material to play with. That is too thick for that rotary cutter. Let's have another go. Oh, the blade needs changing. Go over it twice. Oh, I had to get the scissors on it whilst it's still relatively in position. I just folded my material over. That's fine. I'll put that to one side, and then I've got a nice long strip there to play with. That's great. And I'll do the same for the white. Yeah, it's relaxing, isn't it? Doing a bit of crafts. Especially when you sort of know what you're doing. You know, sometimes it's a lot of concentration when you're just beginning, but once you get into a flow with it, and that's why these little projects are great. You know, because then you can just do them sort of over and over again on repeat, and then you find you can start listening to the radio, and before you know it, you know, hours and hours have passed by, and you've had a lovely time, and you've got something to show for it at the end of it, and you get your hand out the biscuit tin, which is another bonus. Right. So let's do this. Never done this in company before. Actually, I tell a lie, because I went to a class. and we were all together there. But you know what I mean, like this on a video. Oh, it's cut away from you. Golden rule. The reason I'm straining is because I'm cutting through several pieces of material at once. And I'm sitting in this funny position on the floor. So normally, you know, you would have a better angle and you'd probably only cut through 1 or 2 layers, but I'm just trying to be, well, I'm using my experience to save me time. That's what I'm trying to do. Right, so that can go away. And I've got a nice long strip to play with. Right. Right, I got that. And I've got my little square. My little square is a bit that's going to go in the middle. Now, this is a really good tip, right? What you want to do is get some stickers or masking tape or something sticky, right? And we're going to number our sides, because for log cabin, it's easy to get mixed up, basically. Actually, that needs to come in a bit. So you just follow along at this bit, and all will become clear. Right, so I've got 4 sides I'm working with, and I'm going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4. This is to stop the likes of me getting confused. Now I need a pen. All my bits flying everywhere. Pen. Pen. Right, okay. So I'm just going to number the sides 1, 2, 3, 4, because basically we're going to be turning our material around 4 times, and I don't want to get confused about which side goes next. So if I just stick to the numbers, then I should be laughing. Now, I'll start with the white. I think it's such a pretty white. White it's unusual, you know. Sometimes it can be seen as plain, sometimes it's seen as a bit ordinary, but really it's lovely, isn't it? So this doesn't matter which side, because it's the same on both. If you had a patterned piece that you're using, you'd want the pattern to be facing you. So they call the patterned side the right side. So right side facing. Now this does have a sort of right and a wrong side, if you like. This is the right side, the one with the pattern on, that's just the back of it. So I've stuck my stickers onto the right side, and then I'm going to place it right side down. So let's do that now. And, you know, to make use of my material, I'm just going to place it close to the edge here. And then I'm going to get one of my pins. Pins. And I'm just going to pin that there. Pin it onto it. That's a very long piece of material. I'm not going to need all, so I'm just going to give myself a bit of wiggle room, but I'm just going to trim that off there. Okay. Oh, didn't go through. Right. Let's pin that on again. So it's really just the edges to edges there that I'm pinning. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to, well, sew the 2 bits of material together. I'm just going to sew about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 centimetre, you know, just to show those of you that haven't used it before. So it's only going to be a little bit at the top that I sew it, and I'm going to open it up. And yeah, usual rules apply. You know, when you're using a sewing machine, just, you know, make sure you've got a nice secure stitch at both ends. Oh yeah, and when you're laying it down on the sewing machine, have it so that you've got the, as we've pinned it basically, we had it like that on our pinning thing, have it like that on the sewing machine, and then you want to just sew down. So we'll do that together, and then I'll see you in the next video.